All right, let's talk about building wealth. We often think it's all about hitting that $1 million mark. But what if I told you the entire game, the secret to it all, actually hinges on one single, incredibly tough, but absolutely critical milestone: your first $100,000. This is probably some of the best advice I've ever heard, and it comes straight from a millionaire. It's such a simple idea, but it is so powerful. Get to that first 100K and everything changes. The real question is, why? Why is that number so special? So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll dig into why getting there feels like such an uphill battle. Then we'll look at the amazing snowball effect that kicks in once you hit the top. After that, I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step plan called the GROWTH method. And finally, we'll talk about the one thing that ties it all together. Okay, let's start with the tough stuff. Why on earth does saving that first 100 grand feel like such a grind? Well, it really boils down to two big reasons. The first thing is your earning power. I want you to think about your early career like you're starting a new video game. You're basically a level 1 character, right? You just haven't had the time to level up your skills, get the experience, or collect the cool gear. So you can't really compete for those big rewards yet. It's the exact same with money. Your income is just naturally lower at the start. And here's the kicker. This is getting even harder. A recent study showed that because of things like inflation, Gen Z today has about 86% less buying power than boomers did at the exact same age. That's huge. It just means your dollar doesn't stretch nearly as far, which makes that initial savings push way tougher than it was for your parents or grandparents. Okay, so the second reason it's so hard is because of the slow start of compound interest. Yeah, we've all heard about this so-called magic, where your money makes money, and then that money makes even more money. But here's the part they don't always tell you. In the beginning, it's not very magical at all. And this slide just perfectly illustrates the problem. Let's say you do everything right. You scrape together $10,000 and invest it. After that's 5 whole years, it's only grown by about $4,000. I mean, 5 years for 4 grand? It feels kind of lame, doesn't it? It just goes to show you that early on, your growth comes almost entirely from what you can put in, not what your money is doing for you. But, and this is a big but, if you can just push through that initial grind, something absolutely incredible starts to happen. This is the what. This is the payoff. This is where your tiny snowball starts to become an avalanche. Just look at these numbers. Let's say you invest $10,000 a year. That first 100K takes you almost 8 years. But the second 100K, only 5 years. Wow, that's nearly 3 years faster. And by the time you're going from 400K to $500,000, it takes just 2.5 years. See? The growth isn't a straight line. It's a curve that gets steeper and steeper. And this chart just makes that acceleration so clear. Look how much shorter each bar gets. That first chunk of money, that first 100K, it's the critical mass you need. Once you have it, compound interest stops feeling lame and really starts doing the heavy lifting for you. And get this, once you hit that 100K mark, becoming wealthy is almost inevitable. Seriously, if you just took that 100K, put it in a simple S&P 500 index fund, and never added another dime, you could still become a millionaire in about 33 years. That's the kind of power you unlock. Okay, so this is the crucial part, right? Knowing the why and the what is great, but we need the how. How do you actually get there? Well, let's break down a clear, actionable plan to get you to that first 100K. We're going to use something called the GROWTH method. It's a 6-step plan. G is for gaining control with a budget. R is for rooting your investments so they can grow. O is for optimizing your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. W is for weeding out those nasty high-interest debts. T is for tapping into extra income. And finally, H, this is the big one, is for heightening your self-discipline. So first up, G for gain control. And yeah, I'm talking about budgeting. But wait, don't click away. Think of a budget less like a rule book meant to stop you from having fun and more like a guide. It just empowers you to make smart choices and really understand the difference between what you need and what you just want. Next, R for root your investments. This is where that magic we talked about really kicks in. I mean, look at this. If you invested just $250 a month for 40 years, you'd put in 120 grand of your own money. But thanks to compounding, you could end up with over $500,000 just from growth. That's the whole point. Let your money do the real work. Now for O. optimize your tax management. This is all about legally keeping more of what you earn. A really simple way to see this is how employees are taxed versus entrepreneurs. As an employee, you get taxed on your total salary, but an entrepreneur, they get taxed on their profits, which means they can subtract business expenses, those famous write-offs, first. Let's move on to weed out debts. If compound interest is your best friend, high interest debt is your worst enemy. It's like the dark side of compounding, and it works against you, melting your snowball while you're trying to build it. The strategy is simple. List out all your debts, go after the one with the highest interest rate first, and make small, extra snowflake payments whenever you can. Every little bit helps. And that brings us to T, cap into additional streams of income. Remember how your early growth is all about how much you put in? Well, this is how you supercharge it. As of last year, literally half of all Americans had a side hustle. This isn't just a trend, it's a seriously powerful strategy to add more snow to your snowball and get to that 100K finish line way faster. Okay, we've gone through almost the whole blueprint, but this last letter, H, is without a doubt the most important one. It's the secret ingredient. It's the glue that holds all the other steps together and actually makes them work. And that, of course, is H for heightened self-discipline. Think about it. Budgeting, investing, paying off debt, working a side hustle, none of that happens by accident. It all takes discipline. It's the engine that drives this whole thing. You've got to think of discipline like it's the currency of success. The more of it you can create for yourself, the wealthier your future is going to be. So, there you have it. The path to that first 100K is tough, for sure, but it unlocks a future where your wealth literally starts to build itself. The blueprint is right in front of you. The only real question left is, what's the very first snowflake you're going to add to your snowball?